Well, I just watched almost 8 hours of baseball today. Was it too much? Jays win 8-3 in the first game of a doubleheader against the Cleveland Guardians. Also, Jays lose 8-2 in the second half of doubleheader against the Cleveland Guardians in Cleveland. Oh boy, yeah, that was a lot of baseball I just watched. These games were pretty much just the same game with the results flipped. So it was pretty much like watching two fencers kind of jab away at each other without really scoring too many points, and at the end of the day it's tied. So it's hard to come away from this with really too many strong opinions, but I'll try. I do have a couple things I want to say about this game, so let's get to it. First, somehow in my video about his last start, I went the entire video without mentioning Kevin Gausman's name. Are you kidding me? I guess I just got so cavalierly used to him being, like, perfect that I just decided I didn't need to talk about it. I'm so sorry, Kevin. It won't happen again. I love you. I love you so much. Kevin Gausman was once again outstanding today, went the full 6 innings. He gave up a walk for the first time all season, which is crazy town banana pants to think about, but 45 strikeouts to 1 walk is actually insane and an indicator of just what a high level he's operating at right now. He was given a large cushion to work with early and never even came close to relinquishing it. He cruised for the whole game, and Cleveland never really got on track on him. So, another marvelous performance, Kevin. You just keep being you, BB. And I mentioned that large cushion because in the second inning with 2 out, Matt Chapman hit a ringing double to right field. And then Shane Bieber, Cleveland starter, who is pretty good, he also is known for pounding the strike zone, and he issued back-to-back walks, which almost never happens for this guy. So this is a big opportunity here. It's bases loaded, 2 out for Raimel Tapia, who's in the 9 hole, which is where he should be instead of, cleanup, which is where he was a week ago. So we're already in a better place. And I think even a week ago, or maybe even a couple days ago, Tapia would have just maybe pounded that into the ground or struck out. But no, in this case, he hit a solid double to the opposite field. 2 runs came in to score. The next pitch is thrown to George Springer, and he crushes it, a 2-run double to left field. Oh my God! Do you know what that is? That's hitting with runners in scoring position. The legends were true. Yes, the Blue Jays with back-to-back hits with runners in scoring position. They had the bases loaded, and they scored all of them. It was glorious. And they did it all without a home run, and they did it all with the bottom of the lineup being the guys who came through. Well, the bottom of the lineup and George. It was a marvelous thing, and it set the Blue Jays up for something that they haven't had in a long time. A big lead. And then the Blue Jays continued to tack on. Alejandro Kirk went 3 for 4 with a walk in this one. In fact, the Blue Jays hitters as a whole were able to coax 10 walks out of the Cleveland pitching staff. That's really good. And they were able to bring a lot of those walks home. They were able to tack on a run here, a run there, scoring 8 by the end of the game. That is an offensive explosion for this club, the way things have been going this year. So I am just sitting pretty with that one. I love that. Fantastic. And then the part that I didn't like so much was after Gausman was done, Charlie tapped Trent Thornton to come in and move things along. Why is he still on this team? Why is he on this team? To issue 3 walks that weren't even really close to being anything other than walks and then leaving like he accomplished something. Like, God damn it, Trent, come on. Like, he's not a major league caliber pitcher. He's not. He hasn't been, he isn't, and he won't be. He just shouldn't be on this team. Merriweather came in to mop it up, and he was adequate. He gave up a run himself, but I think it was an inherited runner from Thornton, and then no real issues the rest of the way, so the Jays win 8-3, but just the fact that Thornton is still here and so demonstrably bad and still on the team somehow just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And yet after this game, it was Merriweather that was demoted for assignment. Whether or not that is just a roster manipulation move or whether he actually is going down to the minor leagues for a little time, which honestly might not be the worst idea in the world, the fact that it's him and not Thornton is just maddening because it implies that Charlie has seen enough of him to be like, well, we might want him again. We don't. Anyway, Jays win 8-3. That's good. Let's do another one in, say, half an hour? So, in this one, top of the first, the very beginning of the game, George Springer leads off with a single. Then Bo Bichette hooks a ringing double into the left field corner that George gets a great read on, is able to score all the way away from first. Great start. Vlad follows up with a single. We have runners at first and third with a run in and nobody out. We are cooking here. And then for not the first or second or even the third time this year, a Blue Jay runner on first base gets picked off. I honestly don't know what Vlad thought he was doing here. He was just kind of ranging and ambling, and he got picked off easily. So now, instead of 2 on and nobody out, we've got a runner on third with 1 out, and it just kind of took a lot of the air out of the inning. And then, as an indicator of things to come, the Blue Jays failed to get that runner home. I had mentioned in a previous video about Teoscar's return that when he did, the runner on third base with less than 2 outs would come in to score more often because Teo is a master at just getting the ball to the outfield. Well, today, Teo came back. And in that exact scenario that I thought he would improve upon and excel at, he struck out. Okay, I mean, it's his first at-bat back against Major League pitching in like a month. So, all right. But it was kind of an indicator of where the Blue Jays would be at, that they would kind of miss out on that opportunity and then never really threaten again. Tristan McKenzie, the Cleveland starter, is a guy who I highlighted in my season preview video as being a major breakout candidate for Cleveland this year. Him and Cal Quantrill were both pretty good last year. I think they both have potential to be even better this year, and boy, McKenzie showed that in this game. He just got stronger and stronger as he went. His 6th and final inning was probably his best. His location just got sharper and sharper. He didn't lose any velocity whatsoever. His breaking balls were even more devastating. He was very impressive in this one, truly. The Blue Jays did get a couple of good hard hit balls off of him, but the defense behind him played incredible. This guy Jimenez that they have in second base, man, that guy can pick it. He's their Yespinal, I guess. Meanwhile, for the Blue Jays, it was Ross Stripling starting, and you have low expectations for Stripling generally when he pitches, and he got a little bit unlucky here. In the first game, the wind was blowing out very strongly from right field, so any balls hit in that direction would get knocked down, or sometimes even kind of come back towards the infield. It was really something. Stephen Kwan, the right fielder in the first game, really got eaten up by the winds on a couple of times when it looked like he should have made a play, and just the ball just did something crazy, and he didn't. And you kind of would have expected that to continue in the second game, considering that, according to when you look at the flags, they're doing the same thing. But that really wasn't the situation. Instead of blowing directly in from right field, it was now kind of blowing across the field from right into left, kind of pushing towards left field. And I bring that up because in the second inning, with a run already in, Stripling gave what should have been a can of corn to left field, just an easy pop fly, but the wind caught hold of it. And you could tell from Gurriel's reaction in left field, he kind of looked like he was ambling over to where the ball should have been going, and then all of a sudden started to sprint all the way towards the corner because the wind had picked up and the ball was going in this crazy-ass direction. It ended up landing in the corner, turning into a 2-run double. So instead of an easy out fly ball to left, it's a 2-run double. That's rough. That hurts. And it's not really Ross's fault, but he did give up the runners in the first place, and it's not like he was looking super sharp otherwise. He also gave up an absolute meatball home run to Franmil Reyes. This thing was a fastball at like 92, just right down the middle and just below the letters. It was batting practice, and Reyes didn't miss it. So he leaves after 4, having given up 4 earned runs, and it's kind of like, all right. I mean, you're only looking for so much from Ross Stripling, and he kept you in the game for the most part, so C-, I guess. David Phelps replaced him, and he got squeezed a little bit, but none of that really changed the outcome of any at-bats. He ended up giving up a run. I've said before, you can't expect any of your big guys to be perfect. This is a time where you'd prefer he didn't give up the run, but you'd prefer that you never give up runs, and that's just not the way it works. So he limited the damage to 1. Okay, C- again, I guess. And then the moment that I had a real problem with, which is Ryan Borucki coming into the game fresh off of an injury and showing no ability to throw a strike whatsoever at all. Now, at this point, when he came in, the Blue Jays were down 5-2, which is, not ideal, but certainly not insurmountable. And the Blue Jays just had an off day, an unexpected off day yesterday, so all of their high leverage relievers were all fresh, were all ready to go. Now, I'm not with the club every day, and Charlie is, and he's got Pete Walker and the bullpen coach and everyone else in his ear. And if they're telling him that the high leverage guys maybe really could use an extra full day here, and it would be better if we got through this game without using them, well, okay. It's just when you're only down by 3 runs, putting in Borucki at that point feels like a punt. It feels like we're hoping you get some outs here, but he probably won't, and we're probably not going to win today, so we'll save our guys for tomorrow and the New York series and the Tampa series after that. We'll just, we want to give these guys some days. Okay, but they've got off days coming up. They're coming up to the end of this ridiculous 30 games scheduled in 31 days stretch, and this was a winnable game. Cleveland ain't no big shakes. They were below 500 coming into this series. This was a series I think you look at and you say you want to take 3 out of 4 by basically punting this game, which is really what bringing in Barucki at that point felt like you were doing. You're basically saying that the best that you can do is a split? A split where your 3 best pitchers start in a 4-game series. You had Barrios, who was not great yesterday, or the day before yesterday. And then you had Gossman, who delivered the goods this afternoon, and then you have Manoah going tomorrow. This is the game that separates you. If you can find a way to win this game, this is the one that lets you take 3 out of 4. And we're only down by 3 runs here. So at the end of the day, it looks like Charlie was right. The Blue Jays were not able to score any runs, and it doesn't matter that Barucki gave up another 2 in his inning because the Blue Jays didn't even get 1 of their own. So the fact that they were already down 3 runs with Barucki coming in means that the game was already effectively over. But that's the problem for me. Charlie seems to believe that a team like the Blue Jays, where they are now, down by 3 runs, can't come back. He looked at that situation and says, well, maybe we'll try to get him tomorrow, and I'm going to save my best relievers for that. When the manager of the team doesn't think this club can come back from down 5-2, that's an issue for me. The fact that he might have been right is even more alarming, isn't it? So this game saw the return of Teo, so the lineup's going to look a lot more like what it's supposed to look like. A lot more bashers and a lot less Bradley Zimmer. If we get nothing else from this series, I would love this to just be the time when Bradley Zimmer and Trent Thornton are just banished into the Shadow Realm and we never have to think of them again. Wouldn't that be great? Yes, it would be great. But if Charlie doesn't have the confidence that this team can come back from down 5-2, so he's willing to throw in a reliever who's been unreliable at best and is coming back off of an injury, that's a guy you bring in at garbage time. Was this garbage time? I don't know, but it sure felt like not managing to win today. This felt like managing to reduce the damage and get some work in for a guy who needed it in a game you couldn't possibly win. This is the kind of thing you do when you're down 11-4. Not 5-2, for goodness sake. So yeah, the Blue Jays won with a great pitching performance and great clutch hitting. That's really good. On the other hand, the Blue Jays lose and do so in a way that makes me think that the manager doesn't have confidence in this offense right now. So, yeah, there's a lot to take in there, I guess. I'm excited Teo's back. I'm excited that, though Bo had mixed results today, he did have that hard hit double, and he did have some really good at-bats against McKenzie over the course of the day. I'm excited that the lower half of the lineup, especially Alejandro Kirk, looks like they're starting to get it going. I'm excited that George remains Mr. Clutch. He had not 1 but 2 hits with runners in scoring position on the first game. That was wonderful. There's a lot of good to take out of this. And you know what? I'm also pretty glad that the high leverage guys are now fully rested and should be good to go for the last game and the Yankee series and then the Rays series, because we're certainly going to need them. But this did not bode well for me. This did not leave me with a positive feeling, the fact that Charlie feels the way he did and that he managed the way he did. If he made a mistake, okay, but he didn't make a mistake. It's more that this is his outlook, that this is who he thinks his team is. And he's closer to this team than I am, so yikes, I don't like this at all. It's not even that I wish he did anything differently. It's just kind of like a little window, a little indicator about his feelings about the team and where the team's at, and it's not a positive one. So I'm looking for indications of the opposite in the next little while so that both Charlie and I can feel that, okay, we're back to being a team that can absolutely mash and that no run is safe. That's the team that I thought that we were getting here this year, and hopefully we get back to that relatively soon now that Teo is in and we're looking like ourselves. A lot of feelings. A lot of feelings here. Just feeling things about baseball. Okay, that might have been too much baseball. Making this video might have been too much baseball for me, so I'm going to go have some wine with the missus. Thank you very much for watching this video and for watching this channel. I will see you tomorrow for the conclusion of this 4-game series. Alek Manoah going against the Guardians tomorrow afternoon on Mother's Day. If you don't know about Alek and his mom and the way he grew up, Google it. It's a real heartwarming story. I'm sure it'll give great context for what should be a wonderful afternoon tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much for watching.